Last month, a van in China opened its back, and a small plane flew out. 7,000 people had already put money down. A new bridge opened with half a mile of empty air under the deck. One paper called it the highest bridge ever built. Then a train tore past 453 kilometers an hour. In the cities, no one's driving the car. Real taxis, real streets, real fares, today, and none of it's a museum piece. It's all for sale right now, and every piece of it points straight at Washington. Start with that bridge. You've probably seen it already. What matters is what it's actually part of. It's the Huajiang Canyon Bridge in Guizhou, one of China's poorest provinces. The deck floats higher than the Empire State Building is tall. Stand at the bottom, and the deck is just a thin line above the clouds. They broke ground in January 2022 and opened it this September. Here's the clever part. Crews couldn't just reach across a gorge that wide. So drones flew the very first guide cables over the drop, and the rest was pulled across from there. Then they hung the road itself in steel sections, hoisting each piece up on those cables. Two towers, each 260 meters tall, hold a main span nearly a mile wide. At 600 meters up, wind is the enemy, so the deck is open steel and gusts blow right through. And that trip that used to eat 70 minutes now takes just over one. Before anyone drove it, they parked a line of loaded trucks on the span to watch how far it bent. Now, why build the world's highest bridge over a poor, remote corner of the country? Because Guizhou is mountains and mist and towns that trade never really reached. For the towns below, it means fruit reaches the city market before it spoils. China's whole bet is simple. Build the road first, and the money follows the road. This one province holds nearly half of the world's 100 highest bridges. Here's the honest catch. Guizhou is one of China's most debt-loaded provinces, and this bridge ran about 2 billion yuan, $300 million, partly to sell bungee jumps to tourists. There's even a glass elevator up one tower so tourists can pay to stand in the sky. But a bridge only moves you as fast as the thing crossing it. So China rebuilt that too. In October, a train called the CR450 hit 453 in testing. That's about 126 meters every second, quicker than a jet lifting off. A state paper flat out called it, in their words, the world's fastest. The trick is boring and brilliant. They shaved 22% off the air drag. They swapped heavy steel for lighter alloy and carbon panels, so the motors push less mass, less drag, less weight, a fifth less energy, and it runs everyday service at 400. Here's the quiet trick. It stops in the same distance as the slower train it replaces. City to city, that beats a lot of short flights once you count the airport. You can now cross more than 2,000 kilometers, north to south, without ever leaving the ground. And this isn't one showpiece line. China now runs over 50,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. They built most of it in about 15 years, laying track faster than anyone thought possible. That's roughly 2/3 of every high-speed track on the planet. Much of it runs on tunnels and viaducts, because this land never gives you anything flat. They're not done. One maglev, meant for real passengers, is built for 600 an hour. That maglev rolled out of a Qingdao workshop last year, and they want a line running this decade. No wheels at all. Magnets lift the whole train off the rail and shove it forward. The reason it's still rare is money. Floating a train costs far more to build than steel rail. A separate program, an experimental pod and a vacuum tube, has already touched 1,000 in testing. Seal the tube, pump the air out, and there's almost nothing left to slow the pod down. Now compare that to America's flagship line, California's, years late, still not carrying anyone. The whole United States has one true bullet train stretch. China opens more track than that most years. If the ground's getting this crowded, the obvious move is up. One company already jumped. XPeng's aviation arm built something they literally call the land aircraft carrier. It's a 6-wheeled van that carries a 2-seat aircraft folded up in the back. On the road, it drives like any van. The aircraft only comes out once you've parked and cleared space. You park, the aircraft unfolds, lifts straight up, and flies itself. It flies on several small rotors, so if one quits, the others still hold it up. It's fully electric, seats 2, and hops short and low. Think minutes in the air, not hours. Price tag, under $280,000. More than 7,000 people have already put down orders for one. The first buyers won't be commuters. Think rescue teams, tourism, filming land with no roads. And in November, they finished the first mass production line, built for 10,000 a year. And Xpeng isn't alone. A rival, EHang, already won the world's first license to fly passengers with no pilot. The catch is the sky itself. Regulators still have to decide where these things can fly. The hard part isn't one machine flying, it's 1,000 of them over one city at once. Cities like Hefei are already writing the first rulebooks for flying taxis. But the strangest change isn't in the air. It's the empty seat right next to you. Baidu's Apollo Go runs taxis with nobody up front. No driver, no backup behind the wheel. Cameras, radar, and spinning lasers build a live 3D map of everything around the car. Last quarter, they ran over 250,000 driverless rides every single week. A ride can cost less than a normal taxi, for the simple reason that there's no driver to pay. Across 22 cities, 17 million rides, and the line is still going up. Baidu wants thousands more of these on the road in a lot more cities by next year. Their cars have driven 140 million kilometers with no human touching the wheel. Their newest robotaxi costs about $30,000 to build, cheap enough to flood a city. It works because they share one brain. Every mile one car drives teaches the whole fleet. Every hard corner one car meets gets uploaded, the brain relearns, and the whole fleet drives it better. The honest part, they still run in mapped zones, with people watching from a control room. One remote worker can watch several cars at once, stepping in only when one gets stuck. This isn't solved yet, but it's on the street, taking your money today. And somewhere in that math sit millions of driving jobs. The part nobody on stage says out loud. Step back from all four, and the same pattern shows up every time. Take Robotaxis. GM sank around $10 billion into Cruise, then shut it down last year after one crash. America polishes one perfect machine and sells it dear. China ships the good enough one by the 10,000. Ship a rough version, let it stumble in public, fix it, ship again. The speed is in the repeats. You already watched this with cars. BYD went from copycat to outselling almost everyone, one cheap model at a time. The bridge, the train, the flying van, the taxi with no driver. And that's the part that should keep Washington up at night, not the speed, the scale. Sell the trains, the cars, the rules for the sky, and the world slowly learns to run on your design. None of it's free. Some of these bridges and lines may never earn back what they cost to build. For 50 years, the future got designed in America and shipped out to everyone else. Right now, more and more of it is getting built 600 meters over a river in Guizhou and driving itself home.